Hello, this is Victor. I'm here painting Mortarion and at the same time doing the tutorial, but no, I'm going to do a paint and talk. So this is one of the parts that normally I have not shown because I have explained what I'm doing here. And now I want to do the paint and talk. So if you want to know how I'm painting this guy, the tutorial will come soon. But this video is about the paint and talk, and it's triggered by a video from Eric Beer this time, and it's to talk about play with painted or unpainted miniatures. And I will extend this to also add proxy in the discussion. So if I mind, what happens if you like or not to play with proxy or unpainted miniatures. So, and if you have followed my channel, I had this discussion before, and I told this in my Ask Victor quite recently. But I think it's a point. It's quite important topic to deserve its own video, because yeah, I like to share here my opinion. So I have to say, first of all, my point of view is I don't mind to play against unpainted armies. I don't mind to paint against proxies. And I think the reason is coming how I start in the hobby. Where I always think about my first steps in the hobby. So when I started in the hobby, I had to use proxies because not all the miniatures were existing. I didn't have enough money to buy all the miniatures that I wanted. So I also need to do proxies to play. And as well, I think when you are learning and you don't know very well the game and you want to minimize your investment, I think it's wise and aligned with your friends to use proxies at the beginning, especially if you don't have a good or a strong income to invest on the hobby. Why I say that? Because there are a lot of units that maybe on the paper they look great, okay? But then you put them on the game and they don't work as you wanted. They don't do the job that you wanted, okay? And I know when you are starting it can be very frustrating that you invest a lot of points, you invest money, you invest a lot of effort on a miniature, and at the end this miniature is killed very fast on the board, or it's not doing the job that you wanted it to do. It's not working as you expected. Is not. So if you want to learn, I think the best way to learn is to test several units from your college, from your armies, from the different armies, so you have an idea how the different units interact. And of course, this demands at the beginning to use proxies. What is important is when you ask people to lend you miniatures if it's possible, or play with people that can borrow you some miniatures. But I strongly recommend to do that at the beginning. So this is why when I'm playing against a person that is new in the hobby and he's proxying, I don't mind too much. Okay. I also remember when I started on the hobby that it was tough to have all the miniatures painted on the table, and then you buy a new box, you are so excited, you want to test this new unit. So I think it's unfair to say to the person, no, you cannot play that. Although I know you are very excited for this unit, first paint it, do your homework. I think it's at the end it's a hobby. We go there to have some happy time. Okay, so let's be honest. Not everybody have the same priorities. Some people it's more into gaming. Some people is more into painting. Okay, so is this new unit that he invests money, time on purchasing, so give some chance and play against this unit, although it's not painted. Maybe it's not even, the arms are not even assembled because he's thinking which weapons he has to use, and play with a friend that as well he's still thinking what weapons to put on the unit, especially for the special weapons. So he has some guys without arms, and I'm okay with that. As far as he's playing very well at the beginning, which weapons they are there, I'm okay with that. Even sometimes in tournaments, I have seen people proxying saying me, all these flamers are meltas, for example. I don't have problems with that neither, okay? So I'm not that picky. And I'm not that picky because I remember when I start on the hobby was a hard time. I had to use all these tricks, and I think if not all the people have the same opportunities than me, or at the same time, or the same passion as me to paint, and maybe have not the same icon as me to be able to purchase the miniatures he wants and to do all the conversions that he needs to do. So this is why I like to be flexible on that. When it comes to myself, and this happens maybe about 10 years ago, there was a moment that I realized that I was keep playing with unpainted miniatures. But then I say, why I play with unpainted miniatures when I have two armies fully painted, when I can play with fully painted miniatures? So I decided to change my mindset on how I was playing, and I decided from my side that I will not use proxies anymore, or at least very limited. Maybe some characters I will need to proxy the weapons, just to be able to balance the list and have the right points out there. But I decided myself, really, even on equipment of the units, not to use proxies and only play with painted miniatures. But this was my decision, and I think it should be the decision of each player if they want to play themselves and limit themselves to play only with painted miniatures or not. I was doubting about that. I had doubts about that recently, because there are so many changes on 8th edition and so on, that I wanted to test other miniatures that are not really painted. I was thinking, why not to do a super fast paint job just to be able to put them on the tables, at least painted to a minimum level. But then I changed my mindset and say, okay, no, I will stick to my rules, and I will paint them good. I will paint them the best I can, or the best, the most dedicated in the appropriate time. Even if I don't have them all painted, one day they will be painted, okay? So, but this is a personal rule. I think this should be personal. It should be the owner of the army deciding if he plays or not with painted miniatures. I know that the game is made, there are 2 players, but I don't agree that we need to force the other person to play with painted miniatures or not, okay? This is my opinion, but maybe you have different opinions. So I would like to know in the comments below, what is your opinion about the topic? Because it's quite I have seen some people that they say that they don't like play against unpainted armies, they don't like to play against proxies. Then going back to the proxies, I think on tournaments, the proxies to abuse the rules should be forbidden. This type of armies that you take a bunch of skeletons, for example, and you say these are Blackbeards, and then you take some zombies and say these are horrors. This should be forbidden. Okay, this should not be acceptable. This is a guy that has no passion for the hobby, has no passion for that only. So if you want to do that on tournaments, I think you should invest on the money on what you want to, or you have to ask a friend to borrow your army to be able to play that like that. But I think when you go with 100% army that is all proxies, that only drive confusion to the opponents, I think this is unfair when your opponent, when you are paying to play on this tournament, right? And it's confusing. So I think the TOs have to be a little bit tougher and avoid this type of situations, because I think it's unfair for the people that dedicate time and passion to go with a painted army. I also think if we go to tournaments, they should score painted armies. They should give these points, because this is a way to value the time and effort the people or this player are putting on painting the army and come to the tournament with a painted army. I think this should be rewarded with points or with some type of with the best painted army prize or something like that. Okay, so I really think that it should be encouraged that the people comes with the painted armies, but should not be forced. The only thing for me is not really acceptable is when a person, just because there is a new codex that have very fancy rules, comes with 100% or very confusing proxy army. And for me, this is where is the limit. Okay, but on all the other situations, I'm not tough. I'm not tough on that situation. So If someone wants to test a new unit, no problem, tell me, this is a new unit I want to test, I want to know how this unit do on the battlefield, and we agree to play with that unit. Okay, just explain me that this is not what is that the unit is representing another thing. And yeah, and I think that's all. But now I want to know, what is your opinion about painted armies or unpainted armies? Do you have your rules yourself to only play with painted armies, with a painted army? Do you stop playing with an opponent if he has not a painted army? You demand your opponents to have fully painted armies to play with you. So this is up to everybody to know how they want to play and what restrictions they want to put. So I would like to know, what is your opinion about all these topics? I will also link my video to Eric Beer, and if you want to know or you want to watch the original video from Eric Beer, I guess most of you know about the channel, but I will put the link in the description below. Yeah, and that's all for now. So yeah, as usual, looking for your comments. Give a like if you have liked this discussion. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and see you later. Bye.